Chapter 1. Layers of Brooklyn. Sarah navigated Brooklyn's streets as both a native and a haunted wanderer. Her childhood home, a decaying relic on a quiet street, bore the weight of her past, her mother's violent end. Amidst this, her life was intertwined with her vibrant friends. Emily, a journalist with a fiery spirit, often went beyond headlines, diving into mysteries. Jake, introspective and dreamy-eyed, penned verses, capturing Brooklyn's pulse. Lola's art depicted the borough's contrasts, its beauty and its haunting corners. Then there was Stephen. Their college romance had been a whirlwind. Handsome, with a slightly brooding air, Stephen was a student of history, particularly obsessed with old Brooklyn tales. Chapter 2. Dissonant Notes. Emily's first hint of alarm was subtle. While working on a series about unsolved Brooklyn mysteries, she found patterns resembling Sarah's mother's murder. In Stephen's lineage, every few decades, a similar crime occurred. Jake, while attending an old Brooklyn estate sale, came across diaries. Each generation of Stephen's family had one man detailing a dark obsession with a young woman. Lola's art often led her to abandoned places for inspiration. In an old factory, she found eerie murals with motifs eerily similar to Stephen's sketches, women resembling Sarah in chains or surrounded by dark shadows. Chapter 3. Hallways of Terror. Sarah's nights became restless. She'd awaken to cold drafts, even with windows closed. Once, she found her room filled with ghostly apparitions of women, all gesturing to her, mouths agape in silent screams. Most terrifying was the visage of her disfigured mother, trying to communicate, to warn. Sarah felt alienated in her own life. Brooklyn, once familiar, was a maze of shadows. Each corner seemed to hide whispers of past atrocities, all converging towards her. Chapter 4. Fractured Revelations. United by concern, the friends met in secret. Emily shared her findings, tracing crimes over centuries. Jake revealed the diary entries, each more chilling than the last, depicting a dark ritual passed down through Stephen's family. Lola, after much research, found that the murals she'd seen were ancient binding spells, with the centerpiece always being a chosen woman. Chapter 5. Storm over the horizon. One evening, Stephen, with veiled motives, brought Sarah back to her childhood home. The house, a nexus of energies, took on a life of its own. Walls pulsated, long-forgotten memories played out in ghostly recreations. And Sarah's mother's spirit grew more forceful, guiding her daughter through the maze of rooms. Stephen's behavior grew erratic, a duality playing out. Moments of genuine love overshadowed by periods where a darker force took hold, talking about completing a ritual. Chapter 6. Battle in the Veil. Emily, using her research, recognized that the night was the culmination of the ritual. Jake and Lola, armed with artifacts and knowledge, stormed the house. A supernatural showdown ensued. Stephen, possessed by the ancestral entity, faced off against Sarah and her friends. The house became a battleground. Phantasmal figures, the past victims of the Stephen lineage, rose, echoing their torment. Sarah's mother's spirit, a beacon of protective rage, shielded her daughter. Chapter 7. Dawn's New Light. Using the knowledge amassed, the friends combined their strengths. Emily's chants, Jake's verses, and Lola's artistry created a force that confronted the entity. In an intense struggle, they managed to free Stephen and banish the dark force, breaking the centuries-old cycle. The aftermath was a transformed Brooklyn. The stories, now documented by Emily, served as cautionary tales. Jake's verses gave voice to the silenced spirits, and Lola's art memorialized the triumphant battle. Sarah, while scarred, channeled her experiences into guiding others through trauma. The once haunted streets of Brooklyn now bore testimony to a group of friends who dared to confront the shadows and emerged stronger